Hey guys, hope all is well. Welcome to the garage. My name is Joe and I build cool stuff. And that's exactly what we're going to do in today's video. We are going to build some cool wall art. And this is the start of the process. So we're going to get going on this thing. Stick around, guys. But first say hi to Rocket. Rocket is a shop cat. Just so you guys know what I'm talking about, this was the last piece I made. But we're going to try changing it up a little bit for this one. The first step is to turn this backer board into a frame and a base for the piece to be glued and installed into. I will be using these 1.5 by approximately 3/4. They're a little less than that for my backer. They will just get nailed around the perimeter on the back side here. I also grooved out the edge there on the table saw. What that does is when it's attached to the backer board, it leaves a little groove and it helps for hanging on the wall, or it's an extra protection so it doesn't ever fall off the wall when you hang it up on the installation screws. Because that's how I hang these things. I just run 2 screws level into the wall and this thing just hangs right on both screws. And also, as you can see, what I already done, I draw 2 center lines, and of course we find a center point there just for reference when I'm working. Like I said, first step, we're gonna install these, so let's get to it. Basically, I'm gonna measure this, and we are at 46.25 on that, so I'm gonna cut this at 46.25. I will mark it first. Take it over to the trusty DeWalt here. Now that we got this cut the size, I'm going to put a little bead of glue on there, and then I will staple it in through here. Brand new thing of glue. There is going to be a little noise in the background as I have a gas furnace in the corner over there. It is winter here in Wisconsin, and then there's a cold day today, so that thing will be going on and off. I just square everything up here. Looking good. We will get a 1 in here. Haven't used this gun in a very long time. Still works. By the way, guys, I bought this gun for like 20 bucks. Probably like 25 years ago. Still works like crazy. Just like that, guys. Put a couple extra in for good measure. Flip it around, do the same thing. See how that goes? Again, I forget the exact measurement. 46.25. Same thing, quick bead of glue. Line it up, get the one corner set. Slide it down to the middle there. And get the end. Sure the middles are good. Good there. We're this one in a bit. And a couple extra for good measure. Now, we will fill in the two sides. Just take this measurement, just a touch over 19 1/4. Put a 19 1/4 mark on here, just a touch past. Make sure it fits. Yes, it does. Bead of glue. Drop it in the spot. You gotta pay attention on the groove we made here too. Make sure that's in the right spot. Fill that in. Just spin it around. And of course, same thing on this side. Glue it up. Drop it in. This one's a little loose, but it'll work. Flip that around. Get that lined up. Come on. Line up. Line it up on this side. And now I want to put two backers in here. But of course, me being me, I had the piece for the backers sitting over there, and I ripped a bunch of stuff through the table saw earlier on, and well, I ripped those things too. So now I don't have those two backers that match these. So I gotta look and hopefully find something else. All right, I lucked out. I had some 1-bys, and these happen to be a little less than 3/4, which these are, so they will work out perfectly. They will go like so. So what I'll basically do, you can see the 16 on center marks. That will be approximately where those cross pieces go. Again, just measure in between here and cut these to fit in between. So it should be 19 1/4. So I will cut both these at that. So we will glue these. Now I'm actually going to screw them, and then we will flip it and staple it. So let's glue these down. That one in there. Glue this bad boy down. Just like so. Then we're going to get some screws in here. I will drill a pilot hole for the screw. I'm putting a larger diameter drill bit in. I'm going to put the drill in reverse on high speed. I'm going to drill the top of these holes, and I'm going to make a spot for the screw head to sit into. Kind of a countersink. But the drill's got to be in reverse. Get in there. Then I'm taking, I'd like to use a little bit longer, but I got 2-inch screws here. Just some construction screws here. So you can see the countersink there. Take the screw. Get it nice and flush in there. Let's just do the same thing. Then we will replicate this on the other side. This is for all you Ryobi haters out on the internet. It's kind of funny how that is. Actually, you know what, guys? I got to do that on the corners yet too. So I'm just going to replicate the same thing I did here. I'm going to attach these end pieces the same way. Now we just want to put a couple staples from the front. Again, 15 1/4. 15 1/4. 15 1/4. Trusty old stapler. Voila. 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 There it is, guys. That is the start of our frame. I'm trying something a little different this time. Usually I make a matte frame and I do that all first. And I cut and fill the inside up. I'm going to try doing something a little different this time for the main purpose of maybe speeding up the process a little bit. Let's kind of see how it goes. So just a little something different. I'm basically going to run the pieces and I'm going to run them past the end. And I'm going to cut them all off at the end and do a picture frame afterwards. And we will see how that goes. We are now at the fun part of the project where we get to start designing it, laying our strips in here. I don't really have a plan yet, as I usually don't. I just kind of wing it, start laying pieces in, and whatever pops in my head, that's kind of what I roll with. So that's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna start laying this thing out. Got the quarter cable, 23-inch gauge pin nailer, some glue. We're gonna start gluing pieces in here, let them run past the edge. We will cut them later. So sit back, check it out, guys. I'm gonna put some time lapse on for you guys and you can see this progress in a very fast manner. So let's get rolling here. Gonna do it for this evening, folks. It's pushing 6 o'clock. Gonna go in for the night, and we will be back out here tomorrow morning. Finish this thing off. All right, guys. Eggs and bacon for brunch. No complaints there. We are headed back into the shop. We were out here this morning working on that art piece that we started yesterday. Everybody say hi to Gibson. Warming up on the heat pad. Hi, Gibson. And of course, Shop Cat Rocket holding down the fort in his cat tree. I was out here this morning for a few hours making more progress on this thing. You'll see it in a second on this time-lapse video coming up. But here's a quick sneak peek. Oh. Back in the shop for the afternoon. There's really no better place to be than here. We'll get the time lapse rolling again here and hopefully finish out the main pattern of this thing. So sit back, relax, and stay tuned, guys. Here it is, guys. Got everything nailed in. I'll come back out tomorrow and cut all the edges off. And then we will finish it off by putting a frame on it. And of course, last but not least, we will put a few coats of polyurethane on this thing. But that's it for tonight. We will see you guys back here tomorrow morning. And just like that, guys, it is the next morning. Got a little dusting of ice and snow, and it is a bit brisk. I am bundled up today because we got to go do some work outside. And the first step, we need to trim all the edges off of this thing. Let me flip this around so you can see all the pieces overhanging. And then they'll have to be trimmed off. But first, actually maybe I'll take my jacket off. You can see all these pin nails sticking through the back. And what I do is I pull them out with a pair of vice grips. So just like that, I'm gonna pull all these out. Okay, we got all the nails pulled out of this thing. And I wanna cut this, all this overhang off of the edge here, all the way around this whole frame. But I wanna cut that nice and straight because I am attaching the frame around afterwards. And how am I gonna do that? I need to build a guidance track for my circular saw, which is a fairly easy project. So it's gonna take me a few minutes here. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys how to build a guidance track for my circular saw. You probably can't see it, but there is a fine coating of ice on this concrete slab here with a little bit of snow on top. And as you might be able to hear, we are currently under a wind advisory. But we gotta cut all this stuff outside. I had to move the operation back inside. It's just a bit too nasty out there. But I went ahead and made a couple pieces. I found a piece of Luan here, 1/4 inch Luan. And I have a nice straight piece of 1/2 inch OSB. And it's pretty simple. I'm gonna screw this into this. Now the inch screws I have, they might pop through. So I'm gonna flip this around actually and screw it from behind up through the top. I'll just put a couple quick clamps on here. Just like that. Then we'll throw in a few pilot holes. Oh. This is where the Ryobi drills suck. The bits constantly fall out of this thing. Pain in the butt. There you go. Now I'm just using 1 inch drywall screws here. I probably could glue it, but I guess I'm not. Voila! Now I got a dangerous circular saw guide. Actually, we'll bend them suckers right over. There we have it. Now that this is all screwed together, I'm actually going to take this outside so we don't make no dust in here. But you take your skill saw or your circular saw, you take it outside and you just run it down and it'll cut that edge right off, and that will be your guideline. So I'm going to go cut that outside and I'll bring it back in. Here it is, guys. Nothing fancy. Now, what should happen is I should be able to line it right up to the edge of the frame there, clamp it down, and run the saw right across it, and that should cut this edge right where I want it. Looks good, guys. Now you can kind of see what it looks like with the edges off. Got a nice straight cut along there. Next step, I think I'm gonna go through, fill in some of these nail holes, try hiding some of that stuff. I think it'll be a little bit easier to do that now before I start putting on the outside frame. But first, brunch. It's a little thicker than the Louisiana sauce I'm used to using. Here is today's brunch. It's 12:04 p.m. First meal of the day. Eggs, chicken, bacon, cheese, Franks, and a very interested pug. Brunch was delicious, guys. Next step, I'm gonna start filling some of these holes. So we got the holes filled and all the wood stuff. Now I'm gonna come back and try hiding some of these stuff in the paint. And I just have a simple process for that. I got a can of white paint, the same stuff I use here, obviously. I dab a little bit of paint on the end of the screw head there, and I just dab it into the hole. Just like that. Then I'll just go in there and I'll wipe it off. Blend it in. Okay, we went through, covered a lot of the holes. Should be a lot more hidden than before. I have these 1x2 pieces of maple, clear maple, and I don't think it looks right just keeping it plain like this. I think I might paint these things black. And of course, I thought I was done with the black, and this lid doesn't go on tight, so I just frickin' taped this down literally about 5 minutes ago. I'm wasting Gorilla Tape, guys. We don't want to do that. In case you didn't know, I'm a Gorilla Tape connoisseur. We got one coat of paint on 3 sides. I do want to let these dry, flip them over, and get that last 4th side. I gotta say, I came to the conclusion. I thought I would maybe speed up the process with the different style of frame here, but this is not going any faster than my other pieces. And I think I do like my other frames better. So in the end, I'm probably gonna switch back to what I've been doing, as I think it looks a lot better and it is kind of my signature. This has been a fun experiment, and that's kind of how you learn. But I really like the matte look on here, this extra piece. I think it makes it stand out. Hey guys, and yet again, it is another morning. I kind of abruptly stopped yesterday. Earlier in the video, I said we had a wind advisory. Well, that really ramped up yesterday afternoon. You can see my metal sawhorses here. Those were on the picnic table. The wind actually threw them off the table. This tote here, which is full by the way, was over in the yard. And this garbage can was tipped over. And half of the stuff in the garbage can was blown all over the yard. But the main reason I stopped abruptly in the garage is because I heard some trees cracking out back here. And let's just say we have some big boys back here, and they are not in the greatest condition. So, take these big trees versus old garage. I think the old trees would win. So I didn't necessarily feel safe inside the garage, so I went back inside the house for the afternoon. And wow, it is frigid out there today. Whew, get this Modine rolling. Throw some cash out the window. So this is where I left off. Got these painted up. Now I gotta put these onto the piece. But before we put these onto the actual piece, I'm going to sand all the edges on these things. If you follow this channel, you notice that I sand almost every piece, all the edges. It kind of gives it a more rustic look, which I like. So you want to sand this edge off, pull that color through, and that what gives it a nice rustic look. Got to keep a clean workspace, guys. Now, according to my measurements, I basically have no room for error when it comes to cutting this stuff. There is just enough, I think. So hopefully I don't screw up and we get these pieces mounted on here without too much of a hiccup. And I think to get the frame set, I'm going to whip out the 2-inch finish nailer here. But I still think I might come through with some screws. These are trim head screws, just to have that extra strength. And the best way to get these things on is just start cutting. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a 45 on this thing. But I got to cut the least amount off as possible. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot extra here. I can line that up, but I need another 45 coming this way so I can see where I gotta cut it down here. So I will take this piece and cut a 45 on it. So now I can take this, use it as my side guide. Now we bring this piece over to this side, line it up here, put a mark on it. Take the 45, draw that, we'll make it just a little long, then we'll take it to the saw and cut that. And now I have a shorter piece I can use as a guide here. When I cut the edge off yesterday with that guide track I made, it wasn't perfect in the corner here. So yeah, I think we're not going to do that anymore. Going to go back to the old school way. That's pretty good right there, I would say. Okay guys, I got this piece cut to length. I'm going to put a little glue on there first. Should open the glue first. Line it up. Gonna give it a little tack. How we looking here? Double check. This one's hard to tell because this corner is a little out of whack on me. With my new framing system, right? Okay, put that in there. Tack it. Let's see how it looks on edge here. Okay. Tack in here. Voila. Now guys, I'm not loving this new frame at all. It's kind of playing with me here. That tightened everything up. Now I think I'm going to work on the side pieces. Wow, look at that. It just doesn't sit good. 2 sides down, 2 sides go. Take that across. 45 it back. Make it a little long. We can always trim stuff off. Okay, we got the black frame installed. It's fitting pretty good. Got a little touch up. I got some nail holes there. The screws I don't mind, I just don't like the nail holes. So I'll probably try hiding these things a little bit. And I will do that with this plastic wood, all-purpose wood filler. I seem to like it a little bit better in this stuff. Then again, they're both kind of old, so who knows if they were both brand new. Here we are, guys. We are getting very close. And of course, the most satisfying part of the job is putting the final coats of polyurethane on here. But this is the first coat for now, so we gotta get rolling on that. This will get at least 2 coats. I am using a polyacrylic water-based polyurethane. I really like the water-based, especially during the winter time when you're inside. It doesn't have much odor to it, and it dries very quickly, so I can get 2 coats of this on pretty fast. First coat of poly is done. Now we just gotta let it dry. And it is almost 11:30. Time for brunch. Today's brunch is pretty easy. Got some leftover chicken wings. And we're just gonna cut up a little Bacon Fest cheddar cheese to go along with that. And Eddie will wait patiently, hopefully to catch an extra snack or two. Wow, I just had a piece of this stuff, guys. This is really good. Hey guys, it's actually a few hours later now. We got 1 coat on here. We are gonna go ahead and put another coat on. Again, with this water-based polyurethane. I'm gonna enjoy a nice blue moon. It is Friday night here. It is the non-alcoholic variation, by the way. And after that, we'll probably let it dry overnight. Looks like a little snow moving in tomorrow. And hopefully I can show you the finished product tomorrow. So stick around just a little bit longer, guys. We're almost done here. All right, guys. Here it is. The final piece. Turned out pretty good. If I'm being honest, this isn't my favorite one. It just doesn't hit as hard as some of the other ones for whatever reason. Let me know what you guys think of this. It's a little bit different. Like I said, I made the frame a bit different on this one. I'm gonna go back to my other frames for the next piece. But seeing this outside, it does look a lot better. Anyway, guys, if you made it this far into the video, what the heck is wrong with you guys? But I appreciate it, because according to my analytics, most of you guys are not making it this far into the videos. Anyway, guys, thanks for sticking around. We're gonna let you go. We gotta get the heck out of here. Thanks for watching. We will see you guys next time.